Alrighty.
Is it gonna rain?
We changed things up a little bit. We did put a speaker here for two reasons. One, so everybody in the back can hear us, and number two, if you've ever worked with Kristy, you have to put your radio to full volume in order to hear her on the radio. And she does want to say a couple words after I'm done with my speech. So, today we gather to pay tribute to a remarkable officer who has dedicated over 25 years of unwavering service to our community. Officer Kristy Ahrens, your journey with us has been nothing short of exemplary, marked by integrity and an unwavering commitment to the city and to the law enforcement profession. I want to thank everyone, especially Kristy's family, who's all here, and friends who were able to make this well-earned celebration. Throughout your career, you have embodied the core values of our department, which are integrity, respect, and professionalism. You have been a source of inspiration to your coworkers and the pillar of strength to those that you have served. Your professionalism and dedication have set a standard that will be remembered long after you leave this department. As some of you know, and some of you may not know, Kristy began her career with the Stevens Point Police Department as a dispatcher on April 20th of 1999. And then a couple weeks later, she transferred into the Records Bureau at a staggering starting wage of $10.88 an hour. Unbeknownst to all of us, Kristy had a degree in criminal justice, and on January 4th of 2007, she was sworn in as our 242nd officer with the Stevens Point Police Department. Kristy has had several positions within the police department over her career. She's been a patrol officer, a lead officer, acting corporal, a sergeant, a negotiator, crisis intervention officer, a mental health liaison to several organizations and to several of our partners, standardized field sobriety instructor, field training officer, and was a member of our Project Lifesaver. Reflecting on your service, we recall countless instances where your leadership shone brightly, from mentoring young officers as a field training officer to navigating complex challenges in the field of mental health with steadfast resolve. Your contributions have left an indelible mark on our department and the community. Here are just some of the letters of commendation and acknowledgement that you've received over the years. From Chief Morris, Kristy and several other officers were commended for a job well done, referenced their response to a suicidal person at the Noel Fine Arts Center. It stated, each of you played an integral part to deter the attempt of a female subject who intended to commit suicide by jumping off the ledge located approximately 30 feet above the ground. Whether you were the officer negotiating with the suicidal subject or acquiring foam mats from a nearby room, your actions undoubtedly led to the subject surviving that great fall. I have little doubt the woman's family was very appreciative of your actions that evening. From a citizen, I would like to commend Officer Kristy Ahrens. My truck broke down on Main Street this morning, and she waited behind me with her lights on until the truck was loaded on a flatbed. She then gave me a ride to work. I work at Century on Strong's Avenue, which is next to the police department. I had to ride in the back of her squad car, but I didn't mind. Officer Kristy Ahrens was very professional. I want to thank her again. From Sergeant Paul Piotrowski, in February, you investigated a series of thefts from Store Plus and took time to disseminate that information to your fellow officers via email, to include vehicle description and a photo of the subject. Officers, following up on your information you provided, were able to locate and arrest the subject. The extra time that you invested in just a shoplifting investigation and communicating what you had learned to your coworkers helped clear those cases. And most significantly, this one was from Chief Zenner in 2015. During the past year, you were identified as the department liaison for those within our community suffering from mental health issues and crisis. Your appointment was based on previous work involving those suffering from mental health. And the development of this position has been driven by your efforts. Your work within this assignment has been remarkable, and several positive comments received from the organizations that you assist. Your attentiveness and continued development of your assignment as the department's crisis intervention officer demonstrates your commitment to the mental health issues facing our community. It is an excellent example of the body of work you provide, not only to the police department, but the community of Stevens Point. Following that assignment in 2015 from Sergeant Mike Gretzky, Kristy was involved in a critical incident involving a male subject who suffers from mental illness. When officers arrived, the male was walking down the hallway of his apartment complex holding a knife. He held it to his head, to his throat, to his chest. The subject advanced on officers while threatening to harm himself and posed an imminent threat to the officers on scene. Kristy used outstanding verbalization to eventually talk the male subject into dropping the knife and surrendering to police before he had the opportunity to advance on the officers, which would have certainly caused them to use force that would be needed to stop the threat. During the incident, Kristy was professional. She used her skills and training in an exceptional manner. Kristy's actions showed strength of character and excellence in police work. In 2020, from Lieutenant Spath, officers were dispatched to Arlington Place for a report of possible drug overdose where the victim was not breathing and CPR had been started. Sergeant Eitenbrook, Lieutenant Eitenbrook now, and Lead Officer Ahrens were the first to arrive on scene. Sergeant Eitenbrook took over CPR and Lead Officer Ahrens administered Narcan to the victim. After Lead Officer Ahrens administered 3 doses of Narcan, the victim began to respond and breathe on his own. Without the quick action of both these officers' life-saving techniques, this victim would not have survived this ordeal. But beyond your professional accomplishments, you have earned the respect and admiration of all who have had the privilege of working alongside you. Your integrity, sense of duty have earned you not just coworkers, but lifelong friends. As you embark on this new chapter of your life, know that your legacy in the field of mental health for the PD and the community will endure. Your commitment to public service and your dedication to upholding the law will continue to inspire us all. While we'll miss your presence, and especially your caramel baked goods, dearly, we take comfort in knowing that your influence will live on in the values you have instilled in all of us. On behalf of the entire police department and the community, I extend our deepest gratitude for the years of service. We wish you happiness, health, and fulfillment in the years ahead. May this retirement be filled with joy, new beginnings, and the satisfaction of a career well served. Congratulations, Kristy, and thank you for your 25 years of selfless service for the community. It's all you.
Can everybody hear me?
No.
He's working on it.
Use your mom voice.
A lot of radios are up here, picking up interference.
Well, I can try and, can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, no.
All right, well, I'll just start anyways. I wanted to thank you all for coming today. I appreciate all the support that you've given me throughout the years at the police department. I'm going to try to get through this speech without crying. I would like to recognize some individuals who have made an impact on my career, some who are here, and some who I carry their memory with me. First of all, I'd like to thank Detective Kurt Helminiak. He's the one who had showed me compassion and empathy and how officers can make a difference in someone's life. Since his passing, Kurt has rode with me on patrol every day in my duty day. Chief Morris, who ultimately had the say in hiring me out of records, sent me to the academy and for all the words of encouragement afterwards. Chief Reuter, who gave me the extra push during my physical agility test for being an officer, and for all the support when I was going through a lot of personal stuff at the police department. Sergeant Davey, I know he's here, who tirelessly took me to the shooting range so I could practice shooting the rifle and ran me through the SWAT course. Thank you. Dowling and Carlson, thank you for the continued support and encouragement, even after your retirements. Chief Zenner, I know I've told you this before, you're the one who let me take a step back when I was debating leaving law enforcement altogether, and this allowed me to be able to finish my career today. I had a couple FTOs, and one of them was Billy, my grandson. For some reason, I always ended up with him because Moss was hurt. I hate to admit it, but Billy was probably the best FTO for me to get me out of my shell. And I always knew that I wasn't supposed to talk to him until I drove him to get coffee. And as far as Moss goes, he definitely made me comfortable with swearing. And I just want you to know that I had nothing to do with the porta potty at the range. I'm grateful for all the opportunities the police department gave me, working in records with Candy and Sandy training me, allowed me to understand different areas of the police department. As an officer, I was able to be the crisis intervention officer, which allowed me to work with the community members and organizations. I wanted to highlight a few of the organizations that I had worked with. NAMI, Linda and Kathy, who are here today. NAMI is a great program. I am fortunate that I joined NAMI at the time I did. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I hope to continue that even into my retirement. With NAMI, we also were able to put on CIP, which is a class for the community. Chief Cuso and Assistant Chief Williams allowed me to continue this when I was working on patrol, and I dearly thank you for that. The other part is the fire department allowed NAMI to come into your academy and let us train you in de-escalation. Thank you. It was always nice to get to meet the new paramedics and firefighters before they hit the road. Human Services, Amy Pond, her and I became very close in working, and she was also very instrumental in CIP. Family Crisis Center, CAP Services, Kate Mueller, and I want to give a big shout out to Kate, because I think she's listening right now, right, Stormy? Yeah. All right, so Kate is described by Greg as a feisty person, and Kate's got her own battle that she's fighting right now. So let's give a big shout out to Kate. Kate and I, we did a couple things that I was able to do, not when I was working, but we would go to Mid-State and go and talk to the law enforcement students about domestic abuse. And Paul Bushmaker was able to make that happen. And then finally, Michelle Nelson over at Aspirus up on the mental health unit. I always valued these relationships and how we were able to work together. Even when we had differences, our goal was to always help the community. To my shift, and I think I said this before, I apologize for not being around a lot this year, but I could not have ended it on a better shift. Thanks for making it fun. Lieutenant Spath, who has told me countless times, just retire. After answering my phone calls, thanks for putting up with me over the years. To IB, who would hide when I would walk back to their offices, knowing I probably had a mess on my hands. Thanks for all your help, and at least I won't be sending any more cases through. To my parents, my dad, who is a Marine who fought in Vietnam, and my mom, who we now joke about, entered the convent after high school but got kicked out. Thankfully, otherwise myself and my siblings wouldn't be here. Thank you for all the support. I feel I'm a good combination of both of you. You made me move here when I was in 6th grade. I was upset. You claimed I didn't talk to you for a year. Now I see that this was the best move for us all together, and I have grown to love the Stevens Point community. And as some of you wonder why I always had follow-up to do, you can blame my parents. My dad always said, don't do a half a job, you're doing a half a job. So that's why I've always followed through. Greg, I know you are as relieved today as I am. I will be out of harm's way and will not come home with worried thoughts on my mind. You have been my rock and my voice of reason. Thank you for the support. Jake, Kaylin, and Ruslana, your support has been unwavering as well. And thank you for the new wedding ring. To Ethan, Owen, and Autumn, you were 4, 6, and 8 when I started on patrol. This was a journey you didn't have a say in. Thank you for your understanding with my work schedule, missed events, and holidays celebrated on different days. I could not be prouder of the young adults you have turned into today. In closing, when I started patrol, I replaced Paul Kazmierek. He gave me a St. Michael pendant. Both of us being Pacelli grads, I found it fitting. I also knew I wanted God protecting me, and there were days that I wanted God protecting me. There were many days I would come into contact with people and walk away. Thank God that He kept me safe, or that He had me cross paths with that person as we had made a connection. That is what had kept me going the last couple of years. My other FTO was Joe Quisler. Joe retired in January, and at his retirement, I asked him how it felt, and he stated it felt like he had taken off a 40-pound backpack. I'm not going to say how heavy I think my backpack is, and that I'll be taking off today, but I want everybody to remember to take care of yourself. If I could pass on anything, make sure that you don't let things sneak up on you. Talk with other officers, use your resources, find a therapist, as your mind is a very powerful tool. God bless and be safe.
Stormy? So what we do now is we actually have a 1042 call, the end of service. And so Kristy will call that out, and Stormy wants to get somebody online so that they can watch this. Good?
221 Comp Center, 1042.
Officer Kristy Ahrens, started with the Stevens Point Police Department on April 20th, 1999. After more than 25 years, she has decided to retire and continue walking Enzo. She claims that is not hers. Officer Ahrens is a leader, mentor, and a compassionate, caring person whose traits were carried out in many roles she held at the department. Officer Ahrens, thank you for your selfless dedication, service, and friendship. Your department thanks you. Your city and the people whose lives you protected and served, thank you. You have impacted many, and you will be greatly missed. Retirement is the end of something great, but it's also the beginning of something better. Officer Kristy Ahrens, this is your final 42 at 10:20 a.m., July 19th, 2024. We all wish you well as you start your journey.
Congratulations. Obviously, we've got cake and ice cream, some cookies. So thank you all for coming and celebrating this achievement for Kristy and her family. Thank you.
Thank you.